It's been a long time since this car's been on the dyno.
They're planning for a fire, I guess. It is a little chilly this morning, so it makes sense.
I still have a 200 shot of nitrous. I am not letting Rick beat me on the dyno. So it's a beautiful Tuesday morning here at Big 3, and got this thing running last night. Got it on the trailer this morning, and got to finish up a couple things. The charge pipe, I had to move some stuff, so the charge pipe doesn't quite line up. So we're going to modify that, re-weld it, make it work, make it line up so it makes all the boosts, and then probably get it over onto the dyno and see if I can beat my friend Ricky. But more importantly, see if there's some power to be had. I never really got a chance to dyno it before. Had some other issues before I took it all apart about a month ago. So I'm not really sure if we're gonna, like, I can't say that we're picking up power other than if we're using more fuel. But new camshaft, new intake manifold, rebuilt blower, and different wheel on the blower, impeller. So hopefully we make a lot of power and it runs well and it does good, and we can test tomorrow night and get ready for the small tire awards race. So we're gonna get it unloaded off the open trailer here. So for those that have not been following our channel and just tuning in for the first time, fill you in on this car. Some of you may have seen it or heard it, or if you're anywhere near the track when it's going on, you probably have heard it. I'm told it's pretty loud. But it is a 1981 Pontiac Grand Le Mans Safari, which is the Pontiac, version of a wagon. So it is a G-body frame, fairly standard frame. All the frame is still there. We did narrow it a little bit in the rear to fit a 12-inch wheel, and we're still running a 275 tire on it. Factory style rear suspension in it. We do have a 540 big block Chevrolet in it, conventional headed. It's got a Windberg billet crank in it. It's a world block with aluminum rods. We got Wiseco pistons in it. Brodix 380 heads that are hipped, and good valves and valve train components and everything. Brian Tooley camshaft again. This is a brand new camshaft in it. Just trying it out. Got a Thompson billet intake manifold. So one thing that's really cool on this that a lot of people probably don't know is that we're actually running 16 injectors. With those 16 injectors, you have half of it running 93 octane, so it idles and drives around and everything going into the burnout box on 93. And then when we full throttle, get into boost, it switches automatically over to methanol. Shuts off to 93 and runs methanol. So we don't have to worry about loading up everything, loading up the oil with fuel and everything, and just kind of making a mess of everything. So this is our way of doing it. We're actually converting my wife's Trans Am to doing the same thing, but with an LS single turbo setup. But that's it is backed by a Turbo 400 now, close ratio deal. That Perfect Converter hooked me up with, including one of their billet bolt together converters, and 350 rear gear in it. Very standard everything. It does have 4 seats in it, which is really cool. I don't know, it's just a lot of different stuff, but I do encourage you to go back and watch some of the other videos of it running down the track, driving down the road. It is we'll call it a street car because it's got a lot of street miles on it, probably more than what a lot of people have on their show cars or car show cars, and not more than a daily driver, but it's got a lot of miles on it. So I encourage you to go back and watch some of the other videos and see some of the other stuff we've done too with it and the other cars. So
It's time for a new dyno record, I think. That's the day it is.
it made it.
We shall see. They're planning for a fire, I guess. It is a little chilly this morning, so it makes sense. I don't think this is the most efficient way to get the belt in. Yeah, it might be a little costly.
So here we are. We are gonna make some noise, definitely a lot of noise probably, and see. I mean, it's been a long time since this car's been on the dyno. going on 2 years, I believe. But at that point, it was making like 15 pounds of boost and shaking the tires, and could never really figure out how much power it was making or get a really good pull on it. So we're going to get on our Hub Dyno. Kind of been waiting for this. I really wanted to get it done before we did these changes to it, to see what kind of power increase we did or we have, but we're not going to know that other than using fuel consumption numbers and whatever. But so we are going to see what the changes did. The changes consisted of a new camshaft. So we swapped around the firing order some, added about 100 thou worth of lift, just over 100 thou worth of lift, more duration, more, valve open time, new valve springs, new intake manifold, that better lines up all the ports. So that should be very helpful. Added a couple more sensors to it, new trans brake button, so hopefully I can beat Blake on the light. That would be great. Trying to think if there's the Procharger was rebuilt. They actually changed the wheel on it. They said they had a new design for this 130, so that's on there. Had to modify the charge pipe and a couple other things, putting it all back together. We did do a gear drive instead of the belt drive for the timing, so hopefully that is a big improvement as well. Not that we'll see anything with that. We did move the cam sensor up front. I kept fighting an oil leak in the back, and I believe it to be the cam sync every time, so I'm hoping that goes away as well. Fresh transmission, went through the torque converter, all that's fresh. So a lot of little changes, fixed a couple things that was, a nuisance while it was apart. And we're hoping for some pretty decent numbers today. I don't know exactly what. We have a little board going, what everybody thinks, and a little $5 buy-in, so someone's gonna go home really rich than what they started off with. But we got Rick on the ones and twos over there. So speaking of sensors, the sensors that we added, I did change out the drive shaft speed sensor. I had something different than what I had before, and it was real notchy over 60 mile an hour. And it just, I wanted to change it. So I wanted the motion deal on there. And then we also added a shift sensor, so it'll know what gear the shifter is in. And then with the other pressure sensors, I can tell you what gear it's in the trans. So what the trans is seeing and what the shifter is seeing. So that'll be very handy. We also added 802s, and my friend Rick will explain more about that as well.
So we're the first ones probably to actually test this new product, and we'll be offering it. It's made by Oberbilt. You can see the box right there. And this is a 802 CAN bus based oxygen sensor meter channel, however you want to call it. It will work with either NTK oxygen sensors that are off the shelf, or the Bosch 4.9 that are also off the shelf. We'll be offering a kit that has just the box, and you buy your own sensors, or a kit with the sensors. It's CAN bus based. We have it working with Holla EFI, but it's meant to work with any CAN bus style ECU. We are doing the first testing on it as far as in a race car setting and not on the bench. So Otterbilt's tested it, and it works on their stuff, and we got the first, production unit out here. So we're going to test it on here. We're going to see how far the Bosch O2 sensor takes us, and then we're going to switch to the NTK oxygen sensor for methanol to see if it reads accurately. So that's some of the testing that we're going to be doing on this. It's pretty exciting stuff, because right now you cannot buy an 8-channel wideband O2 that's universal for anything. This is the first one on the market right now. Prior to this, we had 802s. Actually, we had all the bungs on it, and what we did was buy 802 drivers, the AEM versions of them, and wired in 802 drivers into the ECU. And the data was super raw and hard to decipher. This is supposed to have all that figured out, all the buffering built into it. So stay tuned for that. This will be an affordable piece. I'm really excited to get this out to the racing community.
I'm going to double check trans fluid. It's close. We're going to sync timing, verify timing. And because anytime we take that blower drive off, it's kind of driven off of that between the crank sensor and the actual timing pointer. So we're going to verify that's good. We're going to also do our cam crank correlation to make sure that the cam and crank sensor are not overlapping. I like to do that every time I have the motor apart or move the cam sync or anything like that. So do that. After that, we'll do a quick little pull, make sure everything's okay, and then just start making changes and kind of go through all that. But really, I think that for the most part, everything should be pretty okay, you know?
Make some noise, let's do it.
It's
Hurry up.
definitely gonna make some noise.
Let's go.
So we're gonna make some noise then.
We ain't got all day.
We do. Okay. You gotta put a steering wheel on because it just feels weird if you don't. I know it literally can't go anywhere, but I need this to feel normal. I know that's weird, but if you're ever in this situation, you'll understand. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna get up there and go full throttle, and I think it's gonna make power. But I'm all snugged up and everything. You know, safety first, and then horsepower second is the plan, I think. Eric?
All right.
Yeah.
Horsepower first.
What?
What did you say?
Safety first, horsepower second.
I think the horsepower first, and that's what I heard.
Sounds good. It was normal in here, other than my eyes got
A little watery.
a little watery.
Blue screen my computer. It shut down my computer. I can tell you that my vision was blurred during that.
Yes, mine was like shaking.
That was wild.
It's kind of gnarly. I forgot to put these down over top of my earplugs. But you can feel the pressure in here, even with all 6 doors open. 7. There's one over there. 7 doors open.
We had our cylinder correction in from the old cam, pre-engine being freshened up, old intake, so on and so forth. Now that we have the 802s, we're able to see oxygen sensors per. So I have it in lambda, which is just a raw form of, and our target is 0.55. So we see there's a lot of rich cylinders in there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull all of our fuel correction out. We also left our high-speed timing retard on, so it's down about 4 degrees of timing than what we normally run. So I went ahead, pulled the fuel corrections out of each cylinder. They seem to be pretty even, just evenly rich. And we are going to put that timing back in it and make another lick on it. So we're at 1854. I think it's going to make 2,000 with that extra timing in it.
It should be it's a lot of timing. I feel like that should be pretty significant, and then not as rich should definitely help as well. And it should definitely make some changes. Hopefully I can see stuff, because last time everything got real blurry. Rick's screen, blue screen.
Yeah, I'm going to try to find my extension harness.
Yeah, try to get this a little further away, but zoomies inside of a building is definitely different than anything else we've had on here. Even inside the car, obviously being inside the car, things are different, but I don't know if it's just sound waves, but it was hard to see the screen. Everything was just blurry, and the car was smooth, so I don't think it was that. I could see my screen fine, nothing inside the car was shaking, but it was just, it was really weird, just not like anything I've ever experienced before. So yeah, we're gonna put these changes in it and see what changes we can make, and then just keep dialing it in, especially per cylinder. These 802 deal is going to be huge, I think. So our goal here is to really dial in every single cylinder with fueling, and then we can dial in every single cylinder with timing off of the EGT. So the more data you can get, the better it is. So anytime they make a sensor for something, you should probably just put it in, because you're going to use that data someday anyways. Right, Rick?
Yeah.
All the data.
I'm going to try to get mine working.
Yes.
Right now I have one oxygen sensor and a prayer.
That's all he needs.
It's getting there, right? Missing a few hundred, I think, for our board. Who's the closest so far? Rick? What is he at? 1920?
So yeah, Rick made 2020, so he put 2019 is what I was his guess. I still have a 200 shot of nitrous. I am not letting Rick beat me on the dyno. That's a fact. I mean, I don't think we'll need it to beat him, but I still have another 600 or 700 RPM to go. Probably waste another 4 or 5 pounds.
I just think it'd be funnier if you didn't make as much as him.
You're so faster than him. Substantially.
Maybe we'll call it good then. I should have been like 70. I think I seen 77 or 7800 is when I lifted. So really, this. Well, yeah, we should probably fix my door. Anywho, so my normally the car shifts right around 7650, but at the top end, a lot of times it will see 78. Rev limiter is 85, just in case I need it, the RPM. So if it's good at 78 or 8,000, I know it'll be good all the way up there. But I don't get in the habit of spinning it that high, so I don't really anticipate spinning it that high on here. But I want to try to probably just keep the 8,000, and we'll see what it makes at 8,000, and kind of go from there. Get it cooled off, read the data log, and see what we got.
Only thing we did is it was pretty rich, and we had it targeted pretty rich when we started getting after it last year, and we didn't have it on a dyno or anything, so we're playing on the safe side. So we leaned it out a little bit. We're going to see if it picks up any power. Seems like generally methanol, the more fuel you can fire, the more power it makes, but it was pretty rich. So we'll see what it does, and if it doesn't pick up power, we'll put the fuel back in it, and then we'll start playing with some ignition timing. The 802s are working pretty good. They're the Bosch, so they are showing richer than I believe it really is, but I think that's because we're maxing the range out of them, but we're just testing them. So we're going to switch to the NTKs as soon as they get here this afternoon. Pretty exciting stuff. 41 pounds of boost at 7,800. I think it'll be probably closer to 45 at 8,000. From 7,500 to 7,800, I went from 38 to 41, so it's starting to climb pretty hard. And it blurred my vision, and I realized that this is not enough. Harbor Freight air muffs are not enough for this thing. So you were really only, it was 17 seconds and a half to, so it was a little over, so 2.5 second privilege you had to make it.
Okay. Seems like a lifetime.
I know.
It never seems like it goes fast enough. And then I lifted as soon as I seen 78 on my cash. Spring in it, and the lowest we could get it was like 100 at idle. A little spicy. A lot of bit methanol in the ice.
All right, new dyno record. You made more than Rick.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. I made more than Rick. That's all that matters. We're done there. We're done if we beat Rick. He guessed. He could still win the bet, but that's okay. At least he didn't win the record. So we still didn't spray the nitrous either. But we'll see.
What?
We still didn't spray it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Need to.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean maybe. We didn't have to, but it doesn't mean we can't.
What we're looking at is the run between the two. We leaned it out from a 3.3 AFR target to a 3.5, and I wanted to see if it spun it a little higher. And I want to make sure it just didn't pick up from the RPMs up increase, but no, it picked up everywhere with leaning it out. So we might. No, I think our next step is going to be to throw a degree. There's a little bit of timing in it. EGTs look safe and good. Let's see what it makes on this next one. I think we have another 100 horsepower in it. I feel with some tuning. Also, the trick too is with a high-powered engine like this and aluminum rods and stuff is every yank on the dyno is a run. So we want to get as much done in the fuse runs as possible, so we don't wear its engine out.
I could pull a plug if we want to look at it too.
Good idea. It's here.
Fairly soon after. Let it cool down for a minute. Recommended R2 spark plug. We're gonna pull this one. Not as clean as I thought it would be, but very dirty inside.
So the first thing I look at when I look at a spark plug to make sure it's still there.
Yeah.
So-
make sure it still has a tip and
Yeah.
not smashed with anything.
A lot of this, what we're seeing is actually the gas.
Right,
Because this
the
thing
pump gas.
idles on 93, which is a pretty dirty fuel. So it's hard to be like, oh, look at all that, but that's from the 93 on it. And these are a 10 spark plug, so idling on 93 on a 10 spark plug doesn't normally last a lot good. But actually, what we normally look for, I look for a timing mark, which it's hard to read spark plugs in general, and there's a whatever. I look at the heat effect zone, which is where this actually changes color, which we don't even really see a line on it yet. Just telling me this thing still wants more timing, which we've always been super safe on the timing, so we're gonna start adding it to it and see what it likes. But where it starts to change the color, kind of like taking a torch to a piece of metal, is where how hot it is. So as that line comes back down and down and down, it'll tell you kind of how hot the chamber gets or how hot the spark plug is seeing. It doesn't always tell the whole story, but it gives you whether you're in the ballpark or not. First step is having it. So
Yeah.
that's
The fact that
cool.
we have one is good.
We have a spark plug. It's not melted off.
I'm
We're
gonna
not,
put a new one in it.
as far as that goes, we're not that far off on the tune-up.
Right.
And it's made it a couple licks without melting itself down. So therefore, we'll creep back into it. I call it being on the right side of wrong. On this side of blowing it up, we're good. Or on that side of blowing it up, we're not good.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a new fresh plug in it just to so we could read it easier, and we'll just work off of this one cylinder for now. So yeah, we'll go. Yep, still loud. In case anyone was wondering, still loud.
Yeah, I was expecting. I was hoping to see an increase on that. Well, you're way too far on board. I'm just being a dick. Yeah, still where the heat is.
Yeah. I just want to make sure it actually took the timing, make sure something else didn't take it back out or anything. Just,
It seemed to, right?
yeah. I just, verify.
It was going pretty much in and out.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. The 802s, whether the Bosch or Akin or not, are pointing at it being rich, like on all. And then when we pulled the fuel out last time, it picked up a bunch. So I think we should pull some more back out. Maybe go to 3.7.
Locally.
Yeah, just change the target from 3.5 to 3.7. Let it take the fuel out of the map.
Right.
Go back down to 23 degrees and see what it does. It sounds good. The pipes are clean. I don't see any puffs out the pipes, so that's good.
Right. So yeah, it's consistent. No wonder I have a bracket car. If you watch any of my other videos at like Rockingham and I won most consistent, it's because it's really consistent. It's probably not what I'm doing, it's just a car. We've made 3 pulls within less than 10 horsepower, you know, back to back to back, even with making some changes. So we're gonna verify that the changes took and see, kind of go from there. So
Your coolant temp was so low that it was targeting only 3.4.
compared to 3.6 or 3.7, what is that coolant temp offset?
Let me remove that and then let me also check for one.
Okay. Hell yeah. I beat him a while ago.
There was a offset for coolant temp. He's been running it so cold that it was targeting, so I'm just going to get rid of that offset.
Crying again. What's that? Oh, I seen 81 something. Crying. It's so exciting. More power. 2106.4. I think that still makes Rick in the lead as far as winning a bunch of money. Next up would be Blake, but I don't know. We'll check the data and see if we even need to make another one. Kind of go from there. Dry my eyes. Just so happy with tears of methanol. So, yeah, I'm gonna go dry my eyes.
And the Procharged car, I don't do a whole lot of big power Procharged, so we're learning a little bit on this one. And this one seems to like a leaner mixture than most turbo stuff I've done. And we found some power in it. The cool thing is that our track tuning tune-up was pretty much spot on. I mean, there's very little changes, and we end up coming back to that tune-up. So I'm excited to see what it does now.
All right, so I'm gonna pretty much call it. We made more power. So we made 2106.4 horsepower. It's a little less than I thought it was gonna be, but then again, we started looking at stuff, and humidity here, it feels great outside, like it's not real hot or anything like that, but humidity has been 90 plus the entire time. During that last pull where we made 2106, it was actually 96% humidity, which is a lot. Typically this car, whenever humidity's high, when we're racing it, we have to hit it with so much more power to get it to perform the same as what it does on what we'll call normal air. So I feel like that normally kind of kills it by a couple hundred horsepower. If we look at the difference in 60 foot, we've kind of equated to about 200 horsepower there. And I could be a little bit off. We don't know until we put it back on here in good air, which we probably will, because again, more data you have, the better it is. We tried, as you've seen, richening it up, leaning it out, adding timing, pulling timing, doing all different types of things to see what kind of, what it increases. And that's the reason why we have this tool. We have 802 sensors, one, or we should say 10, but one per cylinder, and EGTs and all that stuff. So really trying to optimize the most we can out of this combination. And you should with every car, because that way you don't have to run as much boost or whatever it is. Run it as hard, as much RPM. Speaking of RPM, one thing that we noticed, which is mind-blowing to me, because with a crank drive, it's very linear. Your boost goes up with RPM because it's spinning the blower hard, and it never really tapers off. We see the same within 50 horsepower at, call it 68 or 6900 RPM, all the way up to 8200 RPM. It makes within 50 horsepower. Not at all anything I would have ever thought to be the case. So the fact that that is what it's doing absolutely insane. It doesn't really matter what RPM I shift at. Obviously, I'm going to try to keep it where we're at because I do feel like that is best, but I can play with that now knowing that I'm not taking it out of its power gain. So really, I don't know, it was very informational today. We learned so much from never having this car on the dyno to putting on the dyno. It is using a considerably about more fuel than we were using the last time we had it out, with it being leaner. We targeted less fuel and running less fuel, and it's making more power. But even with that, we're still like 8% more fuel, which means we're technically 8 to 10% more power. That equates to a couple hundred. Obviously, once we hit the track, we can see how much more power it's actually making. Not just with ET, but normally I like to calculate power with mile an hour. It's real more. It's no matter what I run, I'm usually within 2 or 3 mile an hour. Even if ET doesn't really equate, there's so many variables with that, but mile an hour seems to be pretty rock solid. So we're going to see how much power we actually picked up. So hopefully we get to run tonight. Hopefully it dries up and we get to run it, and maybe the humidity go a little bit better so we can really get some good data. But if not, we still have data from this humidity in the past. So either way, hopefully it dries up outside. Sun comes out for a couple minutes and dries out the air a little bit. So we'll get the car ready. We still got to do a couple things, check it over, put the belly pan on and everything, and get ready to race. All right, so I've had a little bit of time to gather the data and kind of go over everything and talk to a lot of people that might be smarter than me in certain ways or most ways. But so after talking to a lot of people, we're concerned about the fuel numbers. Not really concerned, just the fact that we're losing a bunch of power somewhere. So we're using about 4,000 pounds of fuel, which is a lot. We've done similar cars, turbo cars, similar engine size and everything that make about the same amount of power to the ground, but using 2,800 pounds of fuel. So after talking to a lot of people, we're finding that a lot of the fuel is going right out the exhaust, and that's another reason why you run Procharged cars or blower cars a little bit leaner. Just with the cam overlap and everything else, you're just losing a lot of fuel that way. Also, the blowers do consume a lot of horsepower as well. So we're not exactly sure, but we're hoping to get it on the track very soon and see what kind of mile an hour we're getting, see what kind of power increase we actually have from the previous cam, previous intake, and the excessive blow-by that we had prior to tearing down the engine. So once we get it out on the track, we will be able to see how much power we picked up, or did it, and see what the future holds for the wagon, I guess. Stay tuned.
This like and subscribe is brought to you by Cleveland Injector Hospital. Stay tuned.
Perfect.